Hello, Stars Hollow residents and Stars Hollow fans. Welcome to another episode of Gilmore Sisters. We've missed you. We hope you've missed us. We're sorry for the delay. Life has gotten crazy. Also, it's fall, so we're busy watching Gilmore Girls, like all of you. Uh, but welcome to this week's episode. And before we get rolling on our topic, let's get our theme song going.
La 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 la. Gilmore Sisters.
Gilmore Sisters is a Phoenix Sisters cosplay production and is hosted by the Cereal Box Network.
Dick Jansen is a creepy man who terrorizes an entire town by committing some truly scary and yet oddball crimes. Will the victims ever recover? Will the town? The Mad Gasser Cheerleader of Calhoun County by Carl Witzman is available on Lulu.com. Get this true crime fictionalization on Lulu.com.
Hello, Crayle.
Hey, Kelly.
How's it going?
Oh, busy. So busy.
Same. Yeah, we're doing StilCon this weekend, so any of you, if you're in the central Illinois area, please stop by and say hello. It's a free convention. We're both going to have tables there. We're going to be cosplay guests. It's going to be a blast. And yeah, stop by and talk Gilmore Girls with us.
And absolutely.
Yell at us about our opinions about Rory's boyfriends because I know we're in the minority.
Ugh.
And share your opinions on the latest episode or this latest episode, which is about Anna Nardini. So we have been talking about this topic and talking about how this would be a great episode for the show since before there was an official show, right?
Yeah, because we've had this rant before.
So many times. So the premise of this episode is that Anna Nardini doesn't make sense because she wasn't written to be a real character. She was literally just written to be a plot device. So her motivations and characterizations change based on whatever would create the most drama for Luke and Lorelai.
Just at any given moment.
At any given moment. And just this character is a mess. And in a show where so many of the characters are so well layered, even down to like the random townspeople that you see, that you meet from episode to episode, this one hurts. Like, this is a character that's really important. Like the last time we met an ex-girlfriend of Luke's was Rachel, that like was an ex-girlfriend from the past, and Rachel had a fully fleshed out character. She was an interesting character in her own right.
And she was only in like 4 episodes. Like,
but we learned so much about her. She made sense. Like her motivations made sense. They didn't change. She was still used to encourage Luke and Lorelai as a pairing because that was what was needed in season 1. But she served more purpose than just that, and she had her own, like, everything she did made sense.
Yeah.
Within the character that was established. But Anna Nardini, like, does not behave like a person would.
No, she's just a drama creating robot. Like,
so
It's hard to even pick a starting point with this. Like,
let's start with her introduction. I think we just need to go timeline wise because otherwise we're just going to keep ranting without actually digging into the story.
Okay, well, for starters, I don't think April ruined the show. I always see that like memed and stuff like that. Not always, but I see it memed a lot where people are like, April ruined the show. April, even as a fictional character, is a kid, okay? And sometimes men have kids that they don't know about, and like that's just a thing, all right? And
Luke is good with kids, and Luke having a daughter he didn't know about and getting to bond with her and learning to connect with a teenage girl was a really engaging storyline.
I think it was too. And also there's some symmetry to it. Like Rory, it has ups and downs and gets close later in her life, like has a relationship on her own terms with her father, when Luke has been sort of her like stand-in father for a long time. And so now Luke, who's had like a stand-in daughter this whole time, finds out actually he had a real daughter, and it, you know, creates some like symmetry between him and Rory, but also, you know, is some like emotional payoff there of like this person who has already learned how to love a daughter to a certain extent, finally having an excuse to like let it all out. So,
well, and let's not say real, because Rory is every bit his daughter as well, a biological daughter.
I mean, I don't think either of them would. The reason I said it that way wasn't because I think that the relationship has to be biological to be real. I said it that way because I feel like neither of them would be comfortable wording it that way.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like maybe he doesn't feel like he gets to claim Rory.
Except for when he's
Hopefully
angry at Christopher.
Yeah. Hopefully by the time he and Lorelai have been together for as long as they have, when the thing we won't mention right now comes along, he does feel comfortable claiming her as a daughter, but who knows? We don't actually see that because whatever. We don't have time in this episode to talk about that. But also April as a character is a great character. Like, it is not her fault that her entrance into the show was orchestrated to cause so much stupid drama between Luke and Lorelai. Like, it was badly written. That's not April's fault.
But like, so April shows up to the diner. She's collecting DNA samples. Like, her mom has no idea. We find out from Anna Nardini. One of the first things we hear from Anna Nardini is, well, I had no idea she was running around 3 different cities or wherever collecting DNA samples from strange men. And she's totally fine with it. She's totally cool with it. Like, she's cool with.
She was riding her bike, right?
Yeah.
And like, how old was she at this point? Like 14, 15?
I think she was in middle school when we met her, so she would have been like 12 or 13.
Okay, so oh my gosh, my daughter is 13. I cannot fathom her just riding her bike off to the point that she's riding to different cities and being like, okay, honey, bye, have a nice time. But I don't know, I guess then I'm thinking back to when I was in the 90s. I did ride my bike off and I was gone for like a full day. And for all my parents knew, maybe I could have been doing that. Like, not that I had reason to, because I knew who my dad was. But maybe? But no. Like, because then later,
Well, and there's multiple. It's established beyond just that, though, because it's like Luke will call and be like, "Is April there?" And Anna's like, "No, she's tracking a grub migration." And all my questions stopped at the word grub, and it's like, it's snowing out when you have this conversation. Like
no,
you let your kid.
She's weird. Yeah, but then she's weirdly possessive and protective over April's time when it comes to letting her spend time with Luke, and she wants to know exactly who's spending time with April. Like Lorelai can't spend time with April because engaged is not married. So like she wants to know exactly who she's with at all times, but
because she gets angry about the slumber party when it's like there were tons and tons and tons of 13-year-olds there. There were like 20 13-year-olds there. And she was more comfortable with Luke being so massively outnumbered in supervising that as an overnight, like.
Whereas previously, again, April was riding to multiple towns and she had no idea what she was doing. Or she's off tracking grub migrations and she's not asking questions, but.
Okay, also almost every time she does do an approved visitation with Luke, she just rides her bike there on her own. Like, whenever she doesn't show up, Luke calls Anna and is like, "Hey, April's not here," and she's never late. So, like.
It's. Nothing about it makes sense.
Those two things don't make sense. But then you fast forward to that, beyond the whole like supervision thing, where the only time Anna cares about whether or not April is being supervised and protected emotionally, because she makes that argument too, where she tells Lorelai, she's like, "But what if she got attached to you? Lady, you don't know who she is and isn't attached to, because you don't normally know where she is."
Right? Like, oh my gosh. And I think they were trying to parallel Lorelai not wanting to bring men around Rory with that, but really I think what they were trying to do was just put a stall in the Luke and Lorelai relationship, because heaven forbid we write a happy couple, because we know the Sherman Paladinos don't want to do that. That's boring. That doesn't make for good TV.
Ugh. But then you fast forward, and even after Luke and Lorelai are broken up, it's just her motivations make no sense, because the whole time, the whole problem with Lorelai was Lorelai couldn't be involved with April because what if she got attached and they're not married yet or whatever, and then they break up. And once Anna needs to go take care of her mom after her mom's surgery in Arizona, she leaves April with Luke for like over a month or something like that. You know, like a long time, where he is the parent. He's taking her to and from school. He's signing all the papers, doing all the dad things, like making the call on whether or not she can go to like a boy-girl party for the very first time. Like doing the full-time dad job for a while.
Because of course.
And then when Anna's like, "Oh, by the way, we're just moving to Arizona now." Or is it New Mexico?
I think it's New Mexico.
It's New Mexico. I'm sorry. I used to live in Arizona. I was the teenager who was not happy about moving to Arizona in my real life. Anyway.
You know what? That's fair. It's hot down there.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah,
it's time. And that's when she's like, "Oh, you can't make promises to my kid about whether or not you'll come back. I'm not going to buy her plane tickets. I'm not going to do anything." Because Luke isn't trying to force himself that much, where he's just like, "This is what I offered to her. You know, I told her she could spend part of the summer with me." Like, he's still talking to Anna about it, you know? And she's like, "No, I won't make any of those decisions now. It's my decision." And then she just keeps April away from Luke even before they move. And it's like, I'm sorry, I thought you were concerned about her heart being broken, her emotions not being protected because she got attached to her dad's fiance, but now her actual dad, who is good enough to take care of her when you need it.
Yep.
you won't even like try to make at least 1 or 2 plans for when she can come back and see him.
It makes literally no sense. Now, if we want to make it make sense, she could be like maybe bipolar, or she could just be a complete control freak and she really, really wants to control April and by extension wants to control Luke and kind of wants the emotional upper hand with him and wants to get back at him for their relationship ending badly. I don't know. Also, her not telling Luke about being pregnant is iffy.
Right. She says it's because he didn't like kids, but
it doesn't check out.
I
mean, I guess he's kind of like a grumpy dude, but
I mean, she actually did have a bunch of examples. She was like, we wouldn't go to the movies before 10 in case there were kids there. And if they sat us next to an infant, we would have to move tables. Like,
yeah.
But
you still tell someone and let them, I don't know. It's just weird. Also, when did he have time to date her when he also dated Rachel? Again, this goes back to everyone in Stars Hollow being vampires and having super long lives. His timeline makes no sense. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
And very quickly, but so that actress, that is her second role that she played on Gilmore Girls, and her first role was also insufferable.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So in the episode that was supposed to be like a soft launch for the Jess spinoff show, near the very end of season 3, where Jess goes out to, I think it's Santa Monica. He goes up to California because Luke already found out that he was failing out of school and he can't live with Luke anymore. They have the big like standoff about it. So he goes to his dad's.
Yep.
And the very first person he sees is someone standing on a roof. They never explain why. And it's the same actress.
Yeah. And this is nothing against the actress. The actress played the role the way it was written. The writing was just bad. Like she has to go through a whole thing about the Wizard of Oz and like, you know how in the Wizard of Oz, yada, 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 yada. Well, that's a horse of a different color. There was no need
like
to be
just
that quirky.
Showed up and was like, is Jimmy here? And it's like, what sort of weird interference have you been running for Jimmy that you can't answer yes or no to, is Jimmy here?
So weird.
Like, I like, it's no wonder Jimmy didn't tell her that he went east to see Jess. Like, clearly she feels the need to control access to him.
Yeah, which I guess she shares that with Anna.
Apparently, like, maybe they really did borrow a bunch of things that they wanted this, like, manic pixie whatever lady to do, and then, like, shoved some of that into Anna. Maybe that's why Anna's character is so inconsistent, because they were like, well, if she dated Luke, then she's got to at least seem grounded on the surface. But we had all this, like, control freak chick stuff already written in the back of our minds. So we're just going to slip that in whenever we feel like it.
Yeah. So, yeah. And yes, her, like you said, the character that was basically common law married to Jimmy was very manic pixie dream girl-ish, except she was a control freak. Like, ugh. Yeah. So that poor actress was saddled with just 2 awful roles on a show with such great rating and such great characters. And again, I haven't really seen the actress in anything else that I can think of, or I'm pretty sure I've seen her in something else. I'm sure she's a great actress.
I
So
mean,
what did she do to ASP to be saddled with two awful roles?
Sherilyn Fenn, I feel like she has done other stuff.
She absolutely has. Listeners / viewers, please let us know. Send us comments. Send us all the comments, because I'm picturing her. I'm picturing a role, and it's not coming to me.
Was
It's
she
been a
in
while.
Twin Peaks?
Oh, yes, I think she was.
Oh, and Sasha was the name of her role
That's
in
it.
Sasha. Like,
Yeah.
I
She's
just
awful.
even the part where she's like some guy that works down near the boardwalk whenever she goes to get pizza or goes looking for Jimmy with Jess or whatever she's doing at the time, she's just like, I found your keys again. Sew the hole up in your pockets. If you don't have time, bring them to my house and I'll do it. And it's like, I think that was supposed to be cute and endearing, but when you just see her like berating Jimmy over this like difficult emotional thing that he's going through about how it affects her and only her. I think that's what it comes down to. Really bothers me about the Sasha character is like she starts calling him Roomy. And it's like, you didn't tell me and you didn't this and you didn't that, like to her.
Yep.
It's all about how it affects her.
Yep. Not about his feelings, not even about Jess, like, and the fact that Jess is literally like barely 18, coming out to see his dad. She's like, he could be in trouble. Like, we can't have him stay here. Not like he could be in trouble. Maybe he needs help. Yeah. Just no.
Well,
So I guess Anna Nardini was an improvement over Sasha, but not really. No, nope. Anna Nardini is worse.
And I don't think it's that she wouldn't have helped Jess, because once the conversation has progressed a little bit, she's like, okay, we'll get the air mattress out, because she assumes he's staying because he came all the way to California. True. And it's just, but the way she puts it, it's like she wants to be in charge of it. She's like, okay, well, I decided he's staying for the night. Like, yeah. First she's like, he could be in trouble. You didn't even ask, blah, blah. But they haven't found out one way or the other if he's in trouble or not when she just switches suddenly to, well, go get out the spare mattress. Like, it's like she's trying to make decisions so fast that nobody else can keep up with her. That way she can just always be mad that...
always be mad and always be right.
Yeah.
Oy. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess also sound off on which character is worse.
Which character is worse, Anna Nardini or Sasha, Jimmy's
what's her face
girlfriend person?
Sasha, Jimmy's girlfriend person. Actual last name.
Although I feel like I could have, if the spinoff had gone off, gotten attached to Lily, the girl who reads books in a wardrobe. Yes.
I adored her, like, right away.
She had like 2 words, and I was like, yeah, this girl.
I know. I was like, okay, I was this kid.
Yeah,
literally same. Me as a child.
I literally used to make nests in my closet. My dad would be like, where did Crayle go? Oh yeah, she's probably just in her closet.
Yep. And maybe Sasha would have grown into her role. They would have written her better. Who knows? But the actress deserved better. She really did. April deserved better as a mom.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. April deserved to have a mom who cared about her feelings in all of this. Like, April loved the birthday party and got along with Lorelai really well. Why is Sasha not listening to any of the feedback she's getting from? Because by the time you're 13, like especially if you're going to spend time unsupervised, like your parents need to like listen to what you have to say and figure out like where your gut feeling about people is going. So that they can give you lessons about the behaviors that the kids are reporting back to you. To be like, that sounds like good. Yeah, make friends with that person versus no, that seems kind of like a red flag. I don't know if I want you to be unsupervised around that person. Like where you teach them what to trust and not trust out of what they observe with other people. And so if she's only heard good things from Luke, who she trusts to watch her daughter, and from April herself, like why is she not? It doesn't make sense to set up a rule that's like, well, when you're married, then you can see her. Okay, well, what if she was a crackhead? Crackheads get married? You probably still don't want them unsupervised around your children.
Also, people get divorced.
Yeah. So what a weird arbitrary rule for her to put in place. Like
it literally just exists to cause drama. There's literally no other reason.
None. It's ridiculous.
So, yeah, I think that's it in a nutshell. Do you have any other thoughts, Crayle? Besides, like, so many others.
Ugh. Not that I think fit in the episode that well, but ranting about this just reminds me of so many other rants. So I guess you'll have to tune in next week.
Yes, for sure.
To get the semi-related, but not quite rants.
Also, if you have something that you all want us to rant about, send us an email or drop us a line somewhere on our socials because we'll take suggestions. We could
absolutely
rant at the drop of a hat.
We've taken some suggestions before, so we'll do it again. We're not too proud.
Yes. And if you like the show, or if you just think we should improve, feel free to support us and all the other shows on our network. The Cereal Box Network is a wonderful network filled with creative people and absolutely amazing shows. You can just go to buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod and drop a few dollars in the tip jar. And if you really, really want it to go to us, just put a note that it's for Gilmore Sisters.
Absolutely.
So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a absolutely magical week. And yes, have a happy Hollow Stars Hollow week. Bye.
Bye.